Hello students, welcome to the Rajkumar College Rajkot online classes. Form 5 Science Chapter 5 Solids, Liquids and Gases. Module 1. Myself, Mrs. Shilpa Bavishi, welcome you to the class. Students, we have completed chapter 1, which was based on plants and plant life. Today, we are going to start with the next chapter, chapter 5, solids, liquids and gases. These words aren't new to you. You have somewhere read about it. You also had this topic in Form 4. Once again, let us start with the topic solids, liquids and gases. When you look around yourselves, you will find so many things. If you list them, it may be books, you'll have your compass box, you may have your laptop or a computer on which you are seeing this video. Maybe your parents' mobile or a glass of water or a bottle of water. Each of them are said to be matter. Thus, we can say matter is anything that occupies space and has weight, has mass. The tiniest particle of dust also occupies some space, and if you measure it, it also has some weight, maybe in nanogram, but it does have weight. Thus, we can say that matter is anything that occupies space and has weight. Looking at the things below the surface of the earth, things inside water, and things up in the sky, everything on the earth and over it is made up of matter. But then, I think this question must be arising in your minds also. What is matter made up of? What is the thing that makes up a matter? Right? So let's carry on with that topic now. Suppose you are holding a tiny grain of salt from your kitchen. You drop the salt on the floor. Can you find it again? It is hard to see just one little grain of salt. But suppose you spilled a whole box of salt. I know your mother is going to scold you, but then picking up, lifting it, taking it into a container would be easy. You would also be able to see it. These all the tiny particles of salt which fell on the floor and you could not see are molecules, and the whole bag of salt which fell down becomes the matter. So a molecule is its smallest unit of a substance that has all the properties of that substance. All matter can be split into tiny units that are not visible to the naked eye. These tiny units are called molecules. Molecules are further made up of very tiny particles called atoms. Each molecule is made up of one or more atoms. There are molecules which are made up of one atom also, and there are molecules which are made of more than one atom. Thus, we can conclude that atoms are the building blocks of matter. Since molecules are made up of atoms and matter is made up of molecules, you can definitely conclude that atoms are the building blocks of matter. All kinds of matter in the world is made up of about 117 kinds of atoms. When atoms of the same kind come together, they form elements, while atoms of different kinds, when come together, form a compound. Let us understand this with the help of an example. Taking the example of a hydrogen gas. Hydrogen gas can be said to be as an element as its molecule is made up of hydrogen atoms only, atoms of the same kind. So is the case with oxygen. Even oxygen atoms are made up of only oxygen molecules. However, water can be said to be as a compound as its molecules are made up of both hydrogen and oxygen atoms, and so we also call it H2O. To understand it, let's look at an equation. Two molecules of hydrogen added to one molecule of oxygen form H2O, that is water molecules. Now, on the basis of the arrangement of molecules, matter can be classified into three states depending on how the molecules are arranged, whether they are very close or they have some distance. Depending on that, we have divided everything around us into three states, namely solid, liquid, and gas. Look at the figure given to you. You can see that in solids, the molecules are very close to each other. We can also say they are tightly packed. But in liquids, there is some space in between these molecules. And finally, in gases, there is lot of space among the molecules. There is huge distance among the molecules. Let's understand solids in detail. A ball, a book, a bar of soap, a pen, a rock, and a bag of salt are different types of solids. Here, in the figure you can see the molecular arrangement of solids. Very close to each other, very tightly packed. In solids, the molecules are tightly packed, no space in between, and so solids have a definite shape and volume. Its shape cannot be changed until some external force is applied on it. Let's take an example of your compass box or your pencil, or you may take your sharpener as well. Try to press it. Try to compress it. You will not be able to change its shape. If you try harder, it may break, but its shape would not change. The force of attraction between the molecules of a solid is highest. Hence, solids are hard, rigid, and cannot flow. Also, solids cannot diffuse in air. They cannot spread in air. They are solid and so they do not dissolve in the air as well. Let us see how solids react in water. The property of a substance to dissolve in some other substance is called solubility. The substance which gets dissolved in the other substance is called solute. Let's take the example of salt and water. Here, salt is a substance which gets dissolved in water, and so salt becomes the solute. The other substance in which the solute dissolves is called the solvent. So, salt dissolves in the water, and so water is a solvent. A uniform mixture of solute in a solvent is called a solution. When solute and solvent mix, dissolve well, it becomes a solution. Water is said to be universal solvent as it can dissolve many substances in it. Water is one such liquid which can dissolve many substances. So it is also called as universal solvent. Solvent which can dissolve many substances. Solids in water. Now we'll understand this with the help of an example. Take a glass and fill it with water. Add some sugar to it. Stir properly. After some time, you will see that the particles of sugar seem to disappear. Does it happen like this, children? Yes. The sugar particles take up the spaces between the water molecules. The sugar solution does not take up any more space than the space which is plain water occupied at first. Thus, sugar is soluble in water. You will see that the quantity of liquid does not increase at all. The sugar molecules take up the space in between the water molecules, and so the quantity remains the same. Now let's understand the next state of matter, that is liquid. Water, milk, coffee, tea, fruit juice and soups are few examples of liquids. The image shows you the molecular arrangement of liquids. You can see when you compare it with solids, they have some space in between. That is also the reason that liquids can flow, can move. In liquids, the molecules are loosely packed. They have distance between them, so they do not have a fixed shape. They take the shape of the container you pour in. Let's take the example of a glass of water. When you fill it into a cup, it takes the shape of the cup. At the same time, if you fill it in your bottle, it takes the shape of your bottle. In liquids, the force of attraction among the molecules is less than that in solids. Thus, they can flow freely and are called fluids. This property is called fluidity. Because liquids can flow freely, they are also called as fluids. Let's understand how liquids react or behave in water. There are some liquids which can dissolve in water easily. Such liquids are called miscible liquids. While there are some liquids which do not dissolve in water, such liquids are called immiscible liquids. Let's do an activity to understand this concept. Take a glass half filled with water. Add a tablespoon of vinegar, and if you don't have vinegar, you can take lemon juice as well. Stir it well. Now, add a tablespoon of oil to it and stir it. Keep it aside for some time. After some time, you can observe that oil forms a layer on the top, while vinegar or lemon juice mixes well in water. Thus, we can conclude that vinegar or lemon juice is miscible in water, while oil is immiscible in water. Let's understand the third state of matter, that is gas. Air, oxygen, carbon dioxide, and nitrogen are few examples of gases around us. Look at the molecular arrangement of gases. Huge spaces between them, very loosely packed. As the molecules of gas are very loosely packed, it can easily flow in any direction. The force of attraction among the molecules is least, so gases do not have a fixed shape and volume. Molecules in gas can be brought closer together by squeezing them into smaller space. Thus, a gas can be compressed up to a certain extent. A balloon filled with air. You try to press it, you try to compress it. You'll see that it can be compressed, it can change its shape up to a certain extent. But if you try to squeeze it more, it will burst. Thus, the gas into the balloon can be squeezed, can be brought together for some space, but later it will burst. Let's understand how gases react in water. Oxygen, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and ammonia are the gases which can dissolve in water. Water in the ocean, rivers, and lakes contain dissolved oxygen and nitrogen. Aquatic animals and plants get their supply of oxygen that is dissolved in water. You can see here that bubbles are formed when the fish is breathing in. They take the oxygen which is dissolved in water and give out carbon dioxide which is taken by the aquatic plants. Once the oxygen is over, the water needs to be changed. This can show that oxygen and carbon dioxide both can dissolve well in water. Have you observed, children, when water or any other liquid starts boiling? What happens then? Look at the image shown to you. You can see small bubbles formed on the sides as well as on the top while the water is boiling. Bubbles are formed on the sides of the vessel and at the bottom as well. What are these bubbles? These bubbles are of the dissolved gases that separate from water on heating. When water is heated, the molecules start moving away from each other. Thus, they change into a gaseous form. In fact, the gas that bubbles out of an aerated cold drink is carbon dioxide. It is also dissolved in water under great pressure. And when you try to open the lid of this aerated drink, it tries to move out. Because it is pressurized and filled inside the water, it tries to come out with a fizz. I hope that all the states of matter and its properties are clear to you. I think by now you have also understood how different states of matter react with water. To understand its main properties, let us have a look at a table. In the given table, the properties of shape, volume, space between molecules, attraction between molecules, and movement of molecules in solids, liquids, and gases is explained. Children, you can take down this table into your rough books so that it becomes easier for you to understand and remember each of these properties. I hope you have understood the states of matter. You should also revise the earlier modules so that you keep on recalling the things that we have done. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe.